Hello and welcome to another episode of With Enough Prep Time. I'm your host, the Nerd Man, and today, despite technical issues, we are going to be talking about the new castings for the DCEU. Now, obviously, we've been hit as DC fans with many blows this week, and once again, obviously, a very, very divided DC fan base. Now, I think the DC fan base is less divided than ever before in terms of everyone, or for the most part, people thought the Justice League movie was dope and had more good than it did have bad. So I'm not quite there with the hashtag Restore the Snyderverse, but I definitely want Snyder coming back for future projects. With some oversight, I think he could make even better comic book movies than the Justice League and Watchmen, but he needs oversight. However, I think DC has, in terms of where it is now, seems a mess. The only two films I'm very, very excited about are the Batman and Shazam. I think the Flashpoint sounds like an absolute mess, but we will see. But I must say that I've been excited and disappointed by some of the casting there for the new Flashpoint movie. So we're going to go over all of that news today. So the first thing to mention, which is really good news, is that Helen Mirren has been enlisted to play a Shazam villain in the sequel to Shazam. Now, I was saying on the other video that I did that part of the real problem with Shazam 1, and one of the reasons I think it didn't make bank, was it had very, very poor casting. Now, I'm not saying anything against anyone who was actually cast in the film, but it didn't have major star power. So if you compare it to Aquaman, which I feel is a far less superior movie, but its effects budget or the way it did its effects was amazing. But I think crucially as well, part of the success was a very exciting, cast full of well-known actors or full-blown movie stars, such as Nicole Kidman, who's, and William Dafoe, very, very respected movie stars. Patrick Wilson, certainly an actor that is known for, bringing quality to his roles. Yahya Abdul-Mateen has now gone on to be quite a well-known, actor in his own right. But at the time, he was an exciting up-and-coming actor. Amber Heard was well-known. Before the Johnny Depp stuff was pretty much a little bit of a fan favorite. Many people had a crush on her. Dolph Lundgren was, Dolph Lundgren. He's amazing, obviously. And you had Tamira Morrison, who was also a very respected actor. So you had a lot of really big-name actors. And if you compare that to the Shazam cast, now the Shazam cast did have some exciting actors, but unfortunately, a lot of them had to be hidden because, essentially, it was supposed to be a surprise. Who are all these people? The cast, a lot of the cast was supposed to be a surprise when you saw the film. People like Megan Good and Adam Brody, for instance, were hidden. They couldn't be on the marketing campaign because Adam Brody certainly would have been somebody people would have been excited to see on the marketing campaign, but he couldn't be there because he was supposed to be a surprise at the end of the movie. But when you look at the main cast, really all you had was Mark Strong. You could probably maybe throw in Dimin Hunzu, but he's in every superhero movie. It's like pretty much, I think he's doing another role in DC again. So he doesn't really count. He's just in every superhero movie, no matter what the quality. Funnily enough, Jimin Hunzu has now been in both Captain Marvel movies for DC and Marvel, which is kind of funny. But yeah, certainly Mark Strong really was the only big name star. Zachary Levi was not like, you can't compare Zachary Levi to Jason Momoa as lead. Asher Angel wasn't a thing. Jack Dylan Grazer, again, was a bit of a star, but not, a bit of an up-and-comer, but not major. And nothing against the cast, because they did a brilliant job, and I think they did a much better job, in fact, than the cast of Aquaman. Faith Harmon and Ian Chen were particularly good in the movie, and I thought Megan Good really stood out as well. So it's just a very, very unfortunate that in the end, despite everyone playing their role really well, I thought Asher Angel was very likable. I thought Zachary Levi was very likable in the role. So everyone played their role very well, but unfortunately, the problem was that the star power wasn't there. So getting someone like Helen Mirren in the cast is a really, really big win. There's also a newcomer, so she'll be playing the villain Hespera, who's daughter of Atlas, a villain I have never heard of from the comics. So I'm quite interested to see what they're doing with that, or if it's a complete created villain that somebody that the writer created. Really, you need to bring The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, into this movie if we want to see it really take off and make its money. But Zachary Levi is starring. Yeah, sorry, I don't know where it went there, but there was another actress who's just been cast for Shazam as well, who's an actress from the West Side Story, Rachel Zegler. So she's going to be one of the three sisters who are going to be the villains in this movie. And Helen Mirren, I suppose, is going to be the leader of these three sisters, I suspect. But that's a really good get, and they need to do more casting like this. They really do, if they want Shazam to be competitive, because I think Shazam can build up quite a big fan base. If it's done properly. It's too bad that the Billy Batson actor, as much as I like him, I felt was a little bit too old for the role. And now he's going to look older. I don't know if it's worth just recasting to get a younger actor to play the role, because it was very, very short-sighted of them to choose an actor who's clearly like maturing. He already looks like a little man, he doesn't look like a young boy. He's not got a boyish quality to him. He's got a manly quality to him, even as a young boy. So he's going to look a lot older. And I think that's going to hurt. That might hurt the movie as well. I think there was some really, really short-sighted casting. Maybe when they cast him, he was, because kids just grow like that. It's like 6 months later, as you're prepping, by the time you get to the actual film, he looks like a kind of middle-aged teenager. So I think in terms of that, that's really good casting that I'm excited for. And Rachel Zegler from West Side Story, I don't know much about her, but that's good casting. Which brings us on to Black Adam. Now, Black Adam's had some interesting casting as well. It adds James Bond, star Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate. Now, Black Adam for me is a real, the movie, it could be really fucking brilliant. I think it could be an excellent movie, but it also scares me as a movie as well, because one, it doesn't really fit into anything apart from broadening out the Shazam universe, really. I don't see how it kind of unifies everyone towards a story that connects, to the DC universe. Shazam, Black Adam is not the kind of villain necessary for the whole Justice League to face. So this idea that Dwayne the Rock Johnson is putting out that Black Adam is somehow going to be like this big villain at the center of the DCEU universe, I think is kind of laughable, to be honest. He's not, the Justice League would be able to take him out quite easily. I mean, they could power him up and make him more powerful than he deserves to be, but really he's a Shazam villain, and that's where I think he'd be, his talents would be best suited. Like his, Dwayne the Rock Johnson really fits, I think, that Shazam movie quite well. So I'm hoping that he has at least a good cameo in this Shazam movie coming up, because I think it really depends on him, whether the Shazam movie and franchise succeeds. So the Black Adam movie, I get the feeling that it's going to be a big Rocky Johnson action movie with, that doesn't really play into the deep themes of and the sad origin of Black Adam. I hope it does. I hope I'm wrong, and they really play into that slavery aspect of Black Adam and where he came from and what made him so bitter and this kind of evil version of a superhero. But again, it's kind of sad that the Justice League are killing everyone in the Zack Snyder movies, because that's Black Adam's thing. Black Adam is the superhero who kills, he's a villain because he kills rather than what the Justice League do, which is they do their superheroics, but they do it without killing their villains. So Black Adam coming in and killing the villains is just not going to really mean anything in this universe where Zack Snyder has all of the Justice League killing everyone. So that's a weird thing. I don't know how they're going to write around that. But certainly I thought that Pierce Brosnan is it's a good fit for Dr. Fate, and it does make me more excited about the film. It makes me more excited when you have someone like Helen Mirren, when you have someone like Pierce Brosnan in these roles. It's just more exciting. You're just like, oh, maybe this film might be decent after all. There must be something in this. Having said that, I must say this, though, that I do think that they should have cast a Middle Eastern person to play Dr. Fate, given his origins in the comic books. I just think that would have been a nicer casting. They could have had Pierce Brosnan as something else in the movie, maybe. But as far as it goes, I'm not unhappy about that. That's really good. It's really good casting. And it makes me a slight bit more excited for a film that I thought was just going to be like Fast and the Furious with superheroes. Maybe it might be something different. And certainly I'm super happy about Helen Mirren as the villain in Shazam. It means she liked the first Shazam movie as well. I think she must have watched it and liked it, to enter into this franchise, or at least her people, must have watched it and thought, oh, this is actually not a bad franchise to sink into. So having